League of Legends. Welcome back to a new installment of exploring old League of Legends. And in this series, what I like to do is try to show you guys how old League of Legends was back in the day. If you haven't seen part 1, make sure you go ahead and go watch part 1 before you start this video. I put a lot of time into this video, and especially if you want to learn about the rank queue, how it was back in the day, as well as Dominion, Twisted Tree Line, it's all in this video, so make sure you go ahead and watch that. But in this video, we're going to be going over even more old League of Legends systems and go over how League of Legends was back in the day. Also, in my last video, I forgot some key details to mention to you guys. Small things like Rengar's E used to be point and click, but even bigger things like Sejuani's ult used to be a fucking AoE.
Glory doesn't really get him there. Mediate with a 5-man Sejuani ultimate.
But hopefully you guys find that everything in this video is going to be accurate, because this time I'm using the League of Legends wiki. So without further ado, it doesn't matter if you've just started playing League or if you're an old head like me. Let's go ahead and go back to old League of Legends. Also, don't forget to like this video so that it gets recommended to other people. Alright, thanks. And it's hard to talk about old League of Legends without talking about the old map. The old map lasted all the way from beta until the end of Season 4, December 11th, 2014, when the new map was introduced for Season 5. And of course, ever since then, the map has been changed multiple times, including adding the fight clubs to top and bot lane, aka the
What
outpost.
is he doing?
And I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, just looking back at the old gameplay of the old map, man, I just miss it so much. It just had so much flavor.
Good smell. Flavor.
The old map just felt like a warm hug or going to your grandma's house. Meanwhile, we have the new map, which is very sterile, very clean, very meant for competitive gameplay. But in terms of story and in terms of just inviting the casual player in, the old map was like 10 times better. It just felt like it was alive. And the funniest part, while I was researching this video, I found one of my old comments talking shit about the old map. Man, I'm truly getting old because times have changed, and I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they need to bring back this map in some way. Maybe have an event where it's like the retro stuff, bring out back some old champions. Like, I honestly think that a huge portion of people who've quit League of Legends will come back just to experience how League of Legends was back in the day, similar to old RS as well as World of Warcraft. Also, I can't talk about the map without talking about the Christmas and Halloween themes. Back in the day, back in 2011, when they first had the Halloween event, where they actually changed the whole entire map up. And Riot really went above and beyond with this map because they added little Easter eggs, including Earth, the manatee. Riot would also change the items around so that they would fit the theme that it's going for, such as in Halloween, the health pots were called candy corn, and the map itself just felt like a nice nighttime vibe.
Life like this sure is sweet, huh? It definitely is.
Like, it truly fit the Halloween theme. And Riot still needs to do more events like this, like on a yearly basis. And in 2011, this will be the last time they ever created the Halloween map. For the Christmas map, they've brought it back multiple times. I remember it being back in Season 2, Season 3, Season 4. I think they stopped it for a while and then they brought it back in 2018. But ever since then, we haven't got a Christmas map in over 5 years and almost going on to 6. So if somehow a Riot employee is listening to this video, please bring back the holiday maps. Do it for the one time. And fuck it, if you don't want to do Halloween or Christmas, you can even do Easter. Bring the Easter bunny. I don't give a fuck. Find a way to bring back holiday maps. Thank you. Man, I feel bad for the people who weren't here for when the Tribunal actually existed, because the Tribunal was one of my favorite systems that Riot Games has ever implemented in the game. This system was first introduced back in May 2011, and it lasted all the way up till the beginning of 2014, so about 3 years. And for those who are not familiar with this system, back in the day, Riot Games had a thing called the Tribunal, and basically if you received enough reports in-game, instead of Riot handling the situation, what Riot did is that they would put you on trial for your peers to judge. So that means you and me get a judge if you're a free man, or be punished and be banned. And with some cases were cut and dry.
I said GG 5 times, and now I'm banned from playing this stupid game.
However, if you got lucky, there would be some cases where you'd feel somewhat conflicted because, yeah, the person was toxic, but low-key, he was spitting some facts. Like, why is Rammus 0 and 15? Why is Sona ability full AD? That's why, although rare, only about 6% of people get away scot-free after being reported multiple times.
Stand up now and face the sun. Won't hide my tail.
Meanwhile, the other 94% of people usually do get punished based on this trivia graph I found on the wiki. And the main reason why this system was so amazing, it was mainly for 2 reasons. The first reason is because you felt a sense of accomplishment by cleaning up the rift from toxic players, and then sometimes you would even see yourself in a report.
I get a new case, but the subject is actually my friend.
Get out there! Get out there!
But that wasn't even the best part. I didn't even mention the best part. The best part was the actual chats, because with every single report, you got the reason why they reported, their chat logs, as well as the game history and what happened. And let me tell you guys something, these chats were just simply different. They're basically like Call of Duty lobbies in chat form.
I had 2 bullets in my boy. Shut your bitch.
And I'm not gonna lie, it was absolutely glorious. The toxicity, the comedy, the suspense.
Why the fuck would you take another AD carry? Gentlemen, because you touch yourself at night. Excuse me, sir, are you fucking serious? You actually flipped a goddamn minion. Yes, but shut the fuck up.
It was pure cinema. But let me put you on a little secret. For me, it never really was about cleaning up the rift. It was never really about helping out the community. Realistically, I only used the Tribunal cases to enhance my own hating game, my own toxicity game. I found the most creative, most out-of-pocket insults I could find and just added it to my bag. Why? Because I can. And for the old rune system, is basically one stats page that you can fill up with whatever rune that you would want. And for each individual rune, it gives you a specific stat, and you could choose whatever stat that you want. And I really do mean any stat. They even had energy regeneration stat rune, so that if you're playing Lucian or Kenneth, you get your energy even faster. And for this rune system, there was 4 different types of runes you can get. The first one was red marks. The second one was yellow seals. The third one was blue glyphs. And the last one was brown Quinn. Also, keep in mind you could get any stat with any one of these rune types. However, it will be less effective depending on if you deviate away from Riot's vision of what runes you should get. So let's say, for instance, the marks were mostly meant for offensive runes. Seals were mostly meant for defense, such as HP and armor. Glyphs was an assortment of different magic runes, such as magic resist, energy, restore, etc. And then Quints were really great for anything. Also, if you're a real OG, everybody knows that you need to make sure you get that 1% crit rune in your rune page.
I crit him. That's ridiculous.
Just one. You don't need 2, 3, 4. Just a 1% crit rune. And now I know what you guys are thinking. Wow, this old rune system seems amazing. You're able to pick specifically what runes and stat that you want for whatever champion that you have. Like for instance, for me, when I play Udyr, I always love going movement speed Quints just so I'm able to catch up with my enemies. However, this old rune system, I like to compare it to capitalism. So it's amazing when you're rich and you have a lot of money to buy these runes. However, it sucks when you're first leveling up. Man, I'm telling you, it's a fucking struggle. And there's 3 main reasons why this system sucks if you're a new player. Number 1, you don't unlock all the runes until you hit level 30. Number 2, you only get 2 rune pages, so you can only have 1 rune page for AD and then 1 rune page for AP. Too bad. If you want attack speed, you should have had 3 rune pages.
Broke nigga alert. Broke nigga alert.
Is it talking about me?
Broke nigga
I
alert.
think so, my nigga.
Broke nigga.
And then number 3, it costed way too much for these fucking runes, man. Also had to pay for each individual rune. So let's say, for instance, for the cheapest rune page possible, the cheapest mark, seal, and glyph you could possibly get is 205 blue essence. So let's do 205 multiplied by 27. That will give you 5,535 blue essence that you have to spend. And then also for the quints, the cheapest possible quint is technically 515, but that's very rare for certain runes. But most of the runes for the cheapest one, it was 1,025. So 1,025 multiplied by 3, and that will give you a total of 3,075. So if you add those both together, it will cost you for the cheapest possible rune page 8,610 blue essence. But what about buying champions? I'm not gonna lie, bruh, that sounds like a you problem. Brokey. Also, if you were curious, for the most expensive rune page possible, it will cost you about 28,290. God damn, that's a lot of money. But you know what's not a lot of money, and that is subscribing to this YouTube channel. Guys, only about 1% of you guys will subscribe. If you want high quality content like this on a regular basis, you gotta make sure you guys are subscribed. Drop a like on the video, and let's get to the next part. And in season 3, Riot only introduced 9 new champions. They have definitely slowed down from previous years. Also, a fun fact about season 3, Yasuo doesn't get released until season 4. So if you played before season 4, there was a time where you didn't have to verse against Yasuo. And the most hated champion was Teemo. But enough of Teemo and Yasuo. Let's get into the 9 champions that got released in season 3. Okay, starting off this list, we got Nami. And for Nami, she was the first champion released in season 3 on December 2012. And she is basically the same champion, a couple of quality of life changes, including her E working on abilities instead of just auto attacks. And then later on in the same month, we got Vi. And for Vi, she is pretty much the same exact champion. She of course had a couple buffs and nerfs, but her actual kit is pretty much the same. And then after Vi, we got Thresh, and Thresh has one of the best kits of all time. It was like one of the first supports that were mechanically intensive, and back in the day there weren't that many flashy supports. So when Thresh got introduced, a lot of people started playing support, and then they even released better supports later on. Supports like Bard or Rakan weren't in the game back in season 3. And besides quality of life updates to his various abilities, he is pretty much the same exact kit. And then after Thresh in March, we got Quinn. And back in the day, Quinn wasn't just Quinn, it was Quinn and Valor, because Valor used to be a big part of her kit. And you guys might be wondering who the fuck Valor is.
Yo, who the fuck is this nigga?
You know that bird that's on her shoulder? Yeah, that's Valor. And back in the day, he used to get down. Now these days, you only use him when you ulti, but back in the day, he had his own entire kit. And for Quinn and Valor, they were similar to like Nidalee and Jace, where you're able to transform with your ultimate, but you don't get your ultimate until level 6. However, when you do transform, you are able to turn into Valor, and you get a brand new set of abilities. So when she ultis, she turns into Valor, and for her new Q, instead of it being a skill shot, becomes a close range AoE blind to anyone that's nearby you. Also, keep in mind, when you do turn into Valor form, you become a melee. Also, for her W, mark attack speed when you hit a mark. Instead of it being a mark, it automatically applies an attack speed bonus when you're in Valor form, so you attack a lot faster when you're ulted. And then for Valor's E, it becomes a dash where you dash to the opponent and slows them, and instead of you kicking back, you just stay on top of them. And then either if the duration runs out or if you press ultimate again, then you get your normal ulti where it does the AoE damage. And I'm not gonna lie, I like this version of Quinn. To be honest, it gave her like a nice identity where you're able to poke out in lane, and then if you want to go for the kill, you turn to Valor, and then you just become a real eater. And then after Quinn, we got Zac. And for Zac, he's a very interesting one because he's similar to Rengar, because his ultimate got reworked and then it got reverted back to his original ultimate. So his old ultimate is the same as his current ultimate. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually liked his old rework ultimate. He used to just pick up everyone in a small area, and then you would slap them back down in a short distance. And with this old ultimate, it created a lot of opportunities for you to wombo combo. Also, it's important to note his old Q used to be vastly different to his current Q. During the same rework, they gave him his current Q that they have now, being able to slap people's heads together. But his old Q used to just be a slow. It was just a skill shot slow, and it wasn't that good because you weren't able to wombo with the rest of your kit. And if you want to know more about the rework Zac, I do have a YouTube video and a montage about it, so check the description down below. You should see a link. And then after Zac, we got Lissandra, and for Lissandra, the only main difference is that her old passive used to be absolute dookie. The only thing old Lissandra passive did was give you mana back on one ability if you used it, and the cooldown will lower if you stun or slow people, but it was a really useless ability. The only time it was actually useful was during the laning phase so that you won't run out of mana so quickly. I much prefer her new passive where you just bring the people back from the dead to be your little soldiers and kill. Then after Lissandra, we got one of my favorite champions of all time, Aatrox. And man, old Aatrox was nothing like new Aatrox. Other than being a world destroyer and just being able to kill everyone, old Aatrox was vastly different. Let's start with his old passive. His old passive used to be called Bloodwell, and essentially what it used to do is that anytime you use an ability, you would lose HP. However, it would fill up the bar, and the more the bar is filled, the more attack speed you would get. And also, did I also forget to mention, it used to revive you? Also, unlike Anivia's and Zac's passive, when you revive, you're able to actually move yourself away. So if you're trying to hide from the enemy, you can hide real quick in the bush and then revive. His old Q used to be a dash where he's able to knock up everybody in a small target location. And for his W, it was his bread and butter. It was the main reason why I like this old Aatrox. You were able to choose between either getting lifesteal or losing a bit of HP to do even more damage. So you had to really choose. If you're low on HP, make sure you toggle it to lifesteal. However, if you want to do even more damage, you're able to lose some of your own HP just to do more damage to the enemy. I really like this ability. It was a really nice concept. And especially because it was a toggle, there was 0-second cooldown. So you could just switch it on and off in the middle of a team fight. And then his old E used to be a nice AoE slow, and it would help you get away and catch up to your enemies. And then for his old ultimate, it used to be an insane attack speed steroid. On top of that, it'll give him extra attack range. And for this ultimate, in combination with his W, he just becomes an absolute monster. He was really hard to take down, and then on top of that, he was doing 1,000 damage to you. And in my opinion, I do prefer the new Aatrox that we have now. It just feels a lot nicer to play. But the old Aatrox, I don't know how they could do it. They need to bring back that W. That shit was straight gas. And then after Aatrox, we got Lucian. And for Lucian, he has pretty much the same exact kit. However, if you're an old head like me, you guys will remember Lucian back in season 4. Lucian's old E used to cost 0 mana. It also used to remove all slows. So if you got Nasus with her, you could just cleanse it off by dashing away. And then on top of that, what they added was every time you auto enemy champion with your passive, it'll give you 2 seconds off your E. So practically, you were just Eing after every auto. E auto twice. E auto twice.
You're never gonna catch me.
It was absolutely broken, and I remember abusing that shit back in season 4 when I was in gold. And then lastly, we got Jinx. And for Jinx, she does have pretty much the same exact kit. There are a couple of quality of life changes that they gave to Jinx, especially on her passive. After you get 1 or 2 kills, you just become a pentakilling monster because your attack speed go
Say hello to my little friend.
So if you calculate all the 9 champions that got released in season 3, you guys will see only 4 of them haven't changed really at all since release. And then we have 3 champions who have been changed in a major way or have been reworked. And lastly, we only have 2 champions who've been changed in a slight way, either removing an ability or adding a new one in. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you made it all the way to the end, make sure you drop a like, subscribe for more videos like this. I should have one more part coming out, which is part 3. And then after that, I have other League of Legends videos down the pipeline, including other old games back in the day I used to play. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel, subscribe. You don't want to miss what's about to come up. And also thank you for all the love and support you guys are showing to the last video, and shout out to the 4,000 new subscribers to this channel. I'm gonna try to upload more consistently, especially this video. It took me a long ass time, so if you do enjoy this video, you haven't subscribed yet, fucking subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Drink some water and peace out.